Imagine a private company. A company with its own army, its own navy, its own currency, its own courts. A company that slowly took control of an entire nation. This is not fiction. This is the real story of the East India Company, the world's most powerful corporation. How did a small group of merchants from England manage to conquer one of the richest regions on earth? How did trade turn into tyranny and business turn into empire? Today, we will take a 1,000-mile journey through history, from 1600 to 1857, to uncover the untold story of how the East India Company took over an entire country. The year is 1600. A group of English merchants gather in London, seeking permission from Queen Elizabeth I to trade with Asia. She grants them a charter, and a new company is born, the Governor and Company of Merchants of London trading into the East Indies. This company starts with a few ships, some ambitious merchants, and one goal, profit. But the merchants don't know they are about to create something the world has never seen before, a corporation that would rule millions. In 1608, the company's first ship arrives in Surat, India. At this time, India is rich, the Mughal Empire is powerful, and Britain is nowhere near India's wealth. The Mughals allow the company to open a small trading post. They think, these people are just traders. But these traders are studying everything: India's politics, regional rivalries, ports and trade routes, local weaknesses. The company is quietly preparing for something much bigger. By the early 1700s, the Mughal Empire begins to weaken. Local rulers fight for power. Indian kingdoms become divided, and the East India Company sees its opportunity. They use a deadly strategy: divide and trade. They support one ruler against another. They supply weapons to both sides. They offer loans, alliances, promises, and slowly gain control without firing a shot. This was their true power. They played politics better than the politicians. The year is 1757. A young Nawab, Suraj-ud-Dowla, tries to stop the company's growing influence in Bengal, the richest province in India. The company is angry, and they prepare for war. But instead of fighting fairly, they use bribery. They secretly promise Suraj's general, Mir Jafar, the throne of Bengal, in exchange for betrayal. The Battle of Plassey lasts only a few hours. Suraj's army does not fight. The company wins easily. This was not a battle. This was a corporate coup. After Plassey, the East India Company becomes the real ruler of Bengal, and the richest corporation on earth. With Bengal under its control, the company takes over tax collection, a private company collecting taxes like a government. This had never happened in history. The company squeezes Bengal's wealth. High taxes, forced crops, exploitation, no accountability. This money flows directly to Britain. India becomes poorer, Britain becomes richer, and the company becomes unstoppable. To maintain its power, the company builds three massive private armies: the Bengal Army, the Madras Army, the Bombay Army. By 1800, these armies have 260,000 soldiers, more than the British government's own army. What's shocking? Most of these soldiers are Indians, called sepoys, unknowingly helping the company rule their own land. One by one, the company fights and defeats powerful Indian kingdoms. The Mysore Wars. Tipu Sultan puts up fierce resistance, but after 4 brutal wars, he is defeated. The Maratha Wars. The company plays diplomacy, bribery, alliances, and war. The Maratha Confederacy falls. The Sikh Empire. After the death of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, the empire weakens. The company waits for the right moment and annexes Punjab. The company now controls most of the Indian subcontinent. It has become the ruler of a nation without officially being a government. By the mid-1800s, the company controls courts, tax systems, trade, police, land revenue, armies, and more than half of India. The remaining Indian princely states are puppets. They rule only in name. This is the height of corporate power, a private company ruling 200 million people. But anger is rising. Indian soldiers and civilians are tired of the company's oppression. In 1857, a spark ignites, a revolt begins. From Meerut to Delhi, Lucknow to Kanpur, Indian soldiers rebel against the company. The rebels almost succeed. The company nearly collapses. After this massive uprising, the British government decides this company can no longer rule India. In 1858, the British Crown dissolves the company. Queen Victoria takes direct control of India. The East India Company, the richest, most powerful corporation in world history, comes to an end, but its impact remains forever. This is the story of how trade became tyranny, how a private corporation built an empire, and how the East India Company took over an entire country, not just with guns, but with greed, diplomacy, and strategy.